lovely mother.
Hi, I'm Janette.
And today we're doing a restaurant review for the Grand Floridian Cafe. This is one of our favorite restaurants to go to in all of Walt Disney World, if I'm being really honest.
Yeah, we go there almost every trip.
So the short description for this restaurant, Disney says, for casual American dining at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, this elegant yet unpretentious eatery can't be beat. So of course, the Grand Floridian Cafe is located at the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. It's kind of on the first floor in the back, I would say. So it's like if you walk in from like the front entrance, you go all the way to the back and sort of to the left, and then it's sort of back there.
It's past the gift shop.
Yes, it's kind of by Park Fair, if you know where that is. Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of all the way in like the back corner. It's kind of hard to describe, if I'm being honest. The hotel is so large, so it's hard to describe.
Big hotel.
Where some of these things are. But the long description, and this kind of gives us a lot of like what's kind of at this restaurant. Disney says, drink in delightful views of the rose gardens and courtyard pool as you dine on inspired favorites. Open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, the Grand Floridian Cafe is a hidden gem that offers moderately priced cuisine with maximum flavor. I love that, maximum flavor. I like this as well, where it says you can have views of the rose garden. I would say there aren't like that many rose gardens.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a rose garden. It's gardens, and you're looking over at another building. Technically,
yeah, like there's definitely things that are out there, but you're not necessarily close to any of these items. So I thought that was funny that that's in the official description.
Yeah, okay.
So Disney also describes this as an American classics reinvented. Start your day with a casual mix of breakfast and lunch favorites we like to call brunch, which I think is really funny.
Is it a brunch?
That's what I'm saying. Is brunch is that a copyrighted term or something? They can't use the term brunch.
I don't know because I've never heard brunch, and technically every brunch has lunch items on it.
I know. So they call it brunch.
I've never heard of that.
Menu offerings include Eggs Benedict, our signature Grand Floridian Cafe burger, and freshly prepared salads, soups, and sandwiches. Some of the same selections are available for dinner, including the hearty entrees like steak and garlic parmesan fingerlings, buttermilk fried chicken, and farmer's market vegetable curry. We will get into the menu in just a little bit. They also say satisfying sweets and sips. If you save room for dessert, indulge in house-made goodies from our very own Grand Floridian bakery. Smoothies, espresso, and hot or frozen cappuccinos and lattes are also available. And of course, guests over the age of 21 can enjoy other, dining offerings
Bloody
such
Marys
as like wine.
do look good.
Wine, cocktails, beers, things like that. So this restaurant is considered a $2 restaurant. So it's kind of, like I said, it's supposed to be moderately priced.
It is.
So
for Disney, yes.
Disney estimates that most people are spending $15 to $35 per adult. Again, they serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast is 7:30 to 11, lunch is 11 to 2, and dinner is 5 to 9. So just note that this restaurant does close a little bit earlier than you'd expect at 9 p.m. You can get discounts at this restaurant. It is 1 table service credit, which is pretty nice. Since a lot of the table service, or a lot of I would say the nicer restaurants are 2 table service credits. Right. This one is 1 table service credit. And if you are an annual pass holder or a Disney Visa card holder, you can also get 10% off. And I would also assume too that DVC members can also get 10% off as well. So all right, let's get into the menu. I will say I did not find a lot of history about the restaurant when I was doing some research on it. There wasn't much on it. Everything was more about the Grand Floridian Resort rather than the specific restaurant itself. Cafe. So I think we can assume that this cafe opened with the resort is what I was finding. So I would just say that, but otherwise, I couldn't find anything too crazy about it. So I feel like we would need to ask cast members.
But the cafe is worth mentioning only because it's so good.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. There just wasn't any crazy backstory, crazy history behind it, or any lore behind it, like some of the other restaurants have. So this one is kind of just your resort restaurant that's really good, and like Disney says too, definitely a hidden gem, I would say for sure.
It is, because a lot of people don't go out of their way to go to it. I don't think it's always busy when we're there. Not packed, like tons of people waiting for it, but it's always busy coming and going. Especially people who are staying at the hotel. That's their sit-down restaurant. Obviously, we go out of our way to get on the monorail and go over there and go to it.
The food's very
We've
good.
been there for dinner. We've been there for breakfast. I think it's very simple. They don't go out of their way to make anything too fancy, too heavy, that you go there and go, oh, can't find anything on the menu. They did take off one of my favorite breakfast items. It was like a southern tomato pie, I guess it was called, and it was made with tomato and egg and cheese and a little crust. They did take that off the menu, which I was very disappointed in. But everything else is delicious. I mean, and like I said, simple. It's not heavy, and it's, like you said, reasonably priced. You're not paying a fortune to go and have breakfast.
So one of the unique things about this restaurant in comparison to other Disney restaurants is that the breakfast, lunch, and dinner menu are all pretty different for the most part. A lot of times the menus tend to be the same, especially for lunch and dinner. But because this restaurant serves breakfast, the breakfast and lunch have a lot of crossover, and then the lunch and dinner also have a lot of crossover.
Right.
So I understand when they say it's like the blunch, because they do have a lot of crossover within their
items.
overall all three menus, that they're not the three distinct menus, that there's a lot of crossover between all of them. So we'll start off with our breakfast. In the appetizers for breakfast, they have seasonal soups, shrimp cocktail, caramelized onion soup gratin, avocado toast, and yogurt parfait. The most expensive item here being the shrimp cocktail at $17. Of course, it's shrimp. Shrimp is always a little bit more expensive.
I don't
for
think I've ever
seafood.
seen that served.
Yeah, none of us really eat shrimp cocktail, especially for breakfast. I don't think I'd have that for breakfast.
Yeah.
But again, this is like a lunch menu, so you could have
that, yeah.
you know, into lunch as well. So this is where I usually order the avocado toast, the avocado, fire roasted tomatoes, and microgreens on multigrain toast. They do say it is plant-based in parentheses as well, just to so everyone knows it is officially plant-based. And it's very good. I often say this is the best avocado toast I've ever had, honestly. It is so good. The avocado is always fresh, and I think I specifically love the multigrain toast. I think the bread
toast itself
is what
is
helps
good.
makes it.
Yes.
Because I really like grainy toasts like that, or grainy bread. So if you don't like grainy breads, you may not like this. I'm sure you could switch it out for like a white bread or
I'm sure
more
they'd
plain
switch
bread
out
if
the
you want
toast,
to.
yes.
But I love that multigrain bread. So this is what I get basically every time when we go here. Yes, it is very
And
good.
don't you get a side of eggs or something on the side sometimes?
Sometimes I do. Yeah, not always though. So, all right. Now the next section is salads and such, they call it. They have of course, they have a Cobb salad, an heirloom apple salad with shrimp, an heirloom apple salad with marinated grilled chicken, an heirloom apple salad with nothing on it.
Nothing
you can just
on
get
it,
it
just
plain.
a salad.
You can also get a Caesar salad with chicken or shrimp, and then there you have a fresh fruit bowl and bananas Foster style steel cut oatmeal. And it also says it's served with a baked banana bread muffin. So lots of bananas in that.
Oh, yes, and they're muffins. Those muffins they bring with the butter
yes,
are very
when
good
you-
on the table.
Yes, it's like when you sit down, especially for breakfast, they bring those little biscuits, like the little
biscuits.
like warm biscuits. I don't know, but I know people call them different things all across the U.S.
I think
So
they're just
depending-
biscuits.
Depending
to me,
on
they're
where
just
you
biscuits.
are, I think people call them different things as
Yeah.
well. I don't know. We just call them little biscuits.
And they come with this really good butter.
They're very flaky. Yeah, it's like a citrus butter. So there's like an orange.
It's a southern flair on this menu.
In our entrees, we have the steak and eggs, the grand breakfast, the breakfast sandwich, the buttermilk fried chicken and waffle. I think you've had that before,
I've had
right?
that before. It's very good.
Yeah, that is for $26. The Grand Floridian Cafe signature burger. Have you had the burger before? Did you have that for dinner?
For dinner.
Yeah, for dinner.
Very good.
The club sandwich, the Floridian style eggs Benedict, the traditional eggs Benedict. They do have an Impossible burger and a miso glazed salmon. Has Dad had the salmon?
Daddy
before
always
for
has the
dinner?
salmon. Daddy has his miso glazed
My
salmon
dad loves
everywhere.
salmon. So as you can see from this entrees menu, even for breakfast, it's pretty ranged. So
It does. It ranges. And like I said, because they took my favorite item off, I usually end up getting the avocado toast too.
Yeah, but again, she have tried the buttermilk chicken and waffle,
Yes, it
which
was
does
good.
look really good. I never really ate chicken and waffles even before I went vegetarian, but it does look good when I see other people get it. It always looks very exciting. It comes with a hand breaded chicken breast and a malted waffle with sriracha honey drizzle. So
I always get the drizzle on the side.
yeah, a little bit exciting there. I will say their breakfast sandwich also sounds good too. It does have a house made sausage patty, so I'd have to get it without that.
Actually, I think I've had that once before too, and that was very good.
It says house made sausage patty, over easy egg, arugula, roasted red peppers, pickled onion, garlic aioli with whipped goat cheese, and house made ciabatta served with cafe signature fries.
Yeah,
So
and
that
their
does sound
fries are very good.
And then, of course, they have pancakes, French toast, and waffles. This is breakfast after all. You can get your classic Mickey-shaped waffle, cinnamon French toast, or just some seasonal buttermilk pancakes. And then they also have their breakfast specialties. They have brioche French toast. Honestly, I probably should get that one day.
I think I had that once.
Yeah, I do love French toast, but
See,
it's hard
we've
to
gone there a
love
lot.
avocado toast. And they have another old-fashioned buttermilk pancakes. What the difference between the seasonal buttermilk pancakes for $19 and the old-fashioned buttermilk pancakes for $16? I could not tell you. So they both come with either bacon or sausage. I don't know the difference between making those two types of pancakes. Perhaps that's something to ask your server when you're there. And then if you have saved room for dessert, there is dessert. Order a strawberry lychee mousse, a seasonal fruit cobbler, cookies and cream chocolate layer cake, or a key lime bar. All those items honestly sound pretty good too. Then there is a children's menu as well. A lot of the children's menu is kind of similar to what we've already seen. They have like a salad, a fruit salad. You can get chicken, scrambled eggs, more like Mickey waffles or a mini grand pancake with, you know, all the choices, usually like your little Dasani milk or water or yogurt or something like that. And then the other exciting thing to have here too is their alcoholic drinks, but they also have non-alcoholic drinks too. So I feel like that's always exciting to point out.
They look very good as they go by. We never really order that. I don't drink in the morning. I just can't. The day would be gone.
Yep.
So I can't drink, but I look at those Bloody Marys and go, ooh, I want one.
For instance, they have the Pink London Spritzer. This is the Liar's Pink London Spirit, grapefruit soda, pomegranate green tea, lime, and mint. I feel like I see a lot of people order that one a lot. They also have the Agave Garden, the Liar's Agave Reserva Spirit, cold pressed lime juice, passion fruit papaya green tea, and a cucumber. And then, as we've said before, my mom has had the spicy Bloody Mary before.
Yes, I had it for dinner.
Yeah, they have a pineapple jalapeno margarita. They have a raspberry colada, a tropical splash. Lots of different fun drinks you can have.
And they look good going by, so they're not like, oh, gee, that's okay. They just look, you watch them go by and go, oh, that looks good.
I will say I've never had their mega berry smoothie, but I have had the smoothie at other restaurants along the monorail resorts before, and I imagine it's probably the same. So I would imagine it's pretty good. But I don't always get a smoothie because often for me, smoothies are like full meals.
Yeah,
so you always get a smoothie. But even if none of those cocktails sound good to you, there are many more cocktails, wines, and beers as well. We won't go through all of them because there's so many. No, also, of course, there's like coffee, and you can get your coffee, teas, anything like that you would want, espresso, all that stuff.
Sodas, yeah.
So that is on the breakfast menu. Now, if we switch to the lunch menu, lunch is honestly kind of the same. There is, I'm quickly scrolling through again. When I looked before, it looks basically exactly the same.
I think it just drops off the eggs, I would think, like the eggs and the French toast and stuff, or do they serve that at lunch?
The eggs stay, the pancakes, French toast, and waffles stay, even the breakfast specialties.
Maybe that's why they call it brunch, because brunch is usually just served from one time to another. Maybe this is just because both menus are the same.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I think breakfast and lunch menus basically look the same. Once you get to the dinner, some of these items now change. Like most of the breakfast items have now dropped off, and they've added a few other things. So for instance, now, that avocado toast is dropped off, but now they have added in a regular Caesar salad. They added in the al pastor pork belly tacos. They add in a plant-based, in quotes, crab cakes. I have not had this before. It says artichokes, hearts of palm, green papaya salad, spiced remoulade. So I would be curious to see what this would taste like, because I do love artichokes, so maybe I would like this, but I never really liked crab before I went vegetarian.
I'm not particularly a big crab cake eater.
Yeah, if it's supposed to taste like crab cakes, I don't know, because I don't think I've ever really liked crab cakes, but I do like artichokes, so I don't know. I guess we would have to see. And there's also a caramelized onion soup gratin as well on the appetizer menu. Now, if we scroll down to the entrees, again, a lot of the entrees are similar. We still have the buttermilk fried chicken. No waffle.
No waffles.
You can still
get with French fries.
Instead, now it is soda with, I say in quotes, loaded smashed potatoes and warmed bacon vinaigrette. Okay. So you get it with, mashed potatoes and salmon. Right. I feel like that's still a classic thing too. You still got your chicken and
still eat your fried chicken, and I've had that for dinner too at one point.
For sure. And also here on their entrees menu for dinner, we have the slow braised pork shank. Again, we still have that Grand Floridian Cafe signature burger, but we've also added in the pomodoro pasta with shrimp and the pomodoro pasta with chicken. And they also have included now the farmer's market vegetable curry with tofu. So this is of course a plant-based option, vegetable curry with tofu. And they also have that same curry with chicken too. If you don't like tofu, is that still okay? Oh, and they also have a shrimp version as well. So same dish. You
get like
tofu,
chicken and
shrimp. And we still have our miso glazed salmon, and then they've also added in the New York strip steak and frites. So if you want a full-on steak, you can also get that too. And then the dessert options are still the same. That strawberry lychee mousse, the fruit cobbler, the cookies and cream chocolate layer cake, and key lime bar. And for the kids menu has added on the seared salmon, a grilled chicken breast, a grilled steak, and a cheese flatbread, which basically is just a little piece of pizza. And then for the most part, all the drinks are kind of the same. You can still order a lot of the same alcoholic beverages that you would like to get. So you still get those margaritas, you get the mojitos, all those things. This one's called Walk the Plank, which I think is interesting. So a Kentucky Mule, pineapple mule. I'm just like scrolling through real quick. So many options, honestly. A sunset margarita, that sounds fun too. Or you can get an Aperol spritz. But that is the menu as we're looking at it. So definitely I feel like an overall like very American based menu. A lot of the food
it is with a little southern flair. It has that little,
like that American southern menu. I would say
a little
overall.
Southern flair in it.
And
just to give you that feeling of Florida.
I do agree that I do think the prices are definitely reasonable to a certain extent. It's definitely pricey overall, like in comparison to other restaurants in like the US, so to speak, or like, depending upon where you normally eat, it's definitely pricey. But for Disney, I think it is more reasonably
That's why
priced.
I said for Disney, it's mid-range.
Yeah, again, all of the entrees are within the $20 to $30 range, which isn't the worst thing in the world, especially for some of these items, especially like the New York strip steak and frites is $36, and that's the most expensive item on the entree
Right, and that's
menu.
a typical price.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Steak can be way more expensive than $36.
Way more expensive than some of the other restaurants, even around me, but here.
And at Disney too. Of course too, I feel like steak, depending upon the cut and wherever you are, a steakhouse.
The cut. And like I said, I would not consider their portions oversized. You don't walk out of there going, oh my God, I couldn't finish it. I got to take leftovers home. I think they're normal sized portions, which is perfect to eat, especially on a vacation, because you don't need extra food on a vacation. Where are you going to put it? It's normal sized portions. The atmosphere is nice. It's very simple. The atmosphere is very, very simple, but it is all windows.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, half the restaurant is windows. You're sitting on one side is wall, the other
That's why
side
they
is all
say
windows.
you're looking at like the rose garden.
Yes, you're looking at a greenery. You know, you're looking out at the beautiful sun if it's during the day.
At like the other side of the Grand Floridian Resort. You know,
yes, you're looking at the back side of the
buildings.
Grand Floridian Resort.
You're just looking at some of the buildings for the most part, but
Yes.
it's still very nice.
It's very pretty, very nice, very light, very airy, but not like just walk in and go, oh, this is like, oh God, this is terrible. You go in and it's just nice. It's comfortable. The service is good. I've never had a bad waitress, or they're mostly waitresses. I've never had a bad waitress or waiter that they've had in there. They're very friendly, very nice. They're very efficient when you get there to let you know that, just hang out. There's like an atrium outside that you hang out because you also have people, like you said, going into Park Fair now that it's back open. So but it's a very nice big space. They have a Disney Vacation Club desk on the other side of that atrium and stuff. And the gift store is right there. So if you're waiting for your table, you can wander into the gift store and out. So I think we go there a lot because we go there more for breakfast, because breakfast is great because we can go there, get up, go there, have a really nice, relaxing breakfast, and then get on the monorail and go to the Magic Kingdom. So usually a day before Magic Kingdom, I pick that as breakfast because now that we don't have to rush into Magic Kingdom at the first crack of dawn, we can go have a nice leisurely breakfast. And that usually makes Joe happy because he hates getting up at the crack of dawn and running into the park. So it's better to go have a nice leisurely breakfast and then get on the monorail and go right to the Magic Kingdom. So it is a really nice place to go. And then for dinner, we've been there with friends, we've been there. And then after dinner, you eat right upstairs, you have the what's it called? The new one, Enchanted Rose bar. So either before dinner or after dinner, you can go up to the Enchanted Rose and have a really nice cocktail. And if not, they have those balconies right outside where you are with the restaurant that have tables and chairs outside. Because we've been there with friends where when we finished dinner, we didn't want to really go anywhere. We just kind of sat out at those tables and chairs, and you can see people walking by. And like you said, the gardens are there. So I got to say, I like that one.
Yeah, no, I definitely
Even though it doesn't
agree.
have a big history, it's really a nice restaurant.
Not a lot of history, but definitely a great place to go. Would definitely recommend it.
And the
overall.
food is good. I've never had a bad meal.
Yeah, same here too. You do need a reservation, of course. I feel like most places you need a reservation.
Yeah, it's busy enough that
it is a restaurant. It's not a quick service. You do need a reservation, but definitely worth it. Would definitely recommend it. Again, for breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Yeah.
So
We've never been. We don't eat lunch like that normally.
no, we don't. But it's
even
the same
very
menu for lunch.
Right.
so,
It's very rare
you know.
we even eat in the parks for lunch like that. We just we plan on dinner because by that time I'm really tired and want to sit down. So we don't really eat. But it's nice to have. We don't go out for breakfast at home. Like I said, every time we have to think about getting dressed and going out to a restaurant for breakfast, we're like, no, we'd rather sit in our own backyard or at our kitchen table and relax. So we don't go out to breakfast a lot. But when I'm on vacation, I really like to go out to a nice breakfast and get a nice start to the day.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so that's the Grand Floridian Cafe. Would definitely recommend. Let us know what do you normally order when you go to the Grand Floridian Cafe? Have you been there before? Are you going to try it out now? Let us know. We'll have a dedicated Instagram post on our Instagram, Almost Amanda X. It is also linked in our description of this podcast episode. So let us know. Yeah, what do you like to order? We'd love to try something new when we're there. But for now, we'll go into a little bit of a Disney news. So of course, most of our episodes are pre-recorded. So by the time we are recording this, a lot of this Disney news happened a few weeks ago. But I still thought it would be fun to talk about even today. So first up, we just want to note that at the Polynesian Resort and Spa that the Poly Towers are basically done for the most part. So this is the tower is going to be the DVC portion of the Polynesian Resort for the most part. So they have now announced that you can start booking these rooms. You can look at the points chart for it. So the points charts are all available to start looking at. Of course, it is a lot of points if you are a DVC member to realize what the points are. Right. If you're not a DVC member, you can purchase like the DVC rentals. And so you can just purchase the rental points and you can stay there still as well. So anyone can really stay here. It just depends upon, how much you're going to end up spending at the end of the day. There's lots of room tours now as well. These rooms are lightly Moana themed, but of course Polynesian themed as well. So I think they look really great. A lot of the deluxe resorts are often, when you go into the room, it's supposed to be very elegant and nice with like the touches of Disney, rather than what Pop Century and the Art of Animation is,
those
where
are
they're full on
Disney.
kind of like cartoonish type Disney, I would say. So these ones are supposed to be a little bit more luxurious in that sense. So definitely a lot of fun touches of Moana and of just like the Polynesian culture in a general sense. Definitely make sure you check out those point charts to see if you are going to be staying. We will probably try to stay at one point just to see how we can
Right.
swing
I think
it.
for the first time it opens that it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
And because of us, because I own a Contemporary at the Bay Lake, we can't do it till 7 months out. So 7 months out is going to be kind of hard to get, just like some of the other ones are hard to get. But, somewhere down the line, you never know. last minute we could just find out that there's available and we pick to go and check it out. I would like to check it out.
Yeah, no,
I think I would like to stay there. I've always wanted to stay at the Polynesian, and we just never had the chance to. We always use our points, so to pay for a room at the Polynesian is very expensive, so we just never really do that. But I would like to stay there if I could at one point or another, just to get the feel of the Polynesian hotel.
So the other big news that's happening in real time right now, but again, by the time this podcast episode comes back, this is old news. And actually, by the time this episode comes out, this will have already launched, and that is the new Lightning Lane Premier Pass that has recently been announced. It is launching on October 30th in Walt Disney World. So what the Premier Pass is, it is an additional, right? So right now for Lightning Lane, we have the multi-pass and the single pass, and now Disney's adding on the Premier Pass. So the Lightning Lane multi-pass is what formerly was Genie Plus, and the single pass is what formerly was pay per attraction. So now if you are going to be staying at a deluxe resort at Disney World or in Disneyland, you can now, apparently Disney's saying there's going to be very limited quantities of the Premier Pass. Now in real time, as you're listening, this again is already out, so I guess we'll find out more as it comes out.
Yeah.
But basically, guests are able to use this pass to enter each applicable attraction once per day. Photo pass downloads are of course included in this. But the big difference between this is that there is no return time. So you purchase the pass and you can go on the rides whenever you feel like going on the rides. So essentially saying you can go on all of the rides in Disney World one time at any time of your choosing. So no return pass. You just walk basically right
but
it's
into
per
the pass per day, and you can't park hop.
So right now there's no park hopping option.
Right.
And again, it's only available for the deluxe, for guests staying at the deluxe resorts. And Disney says with very limited availability. So we don't actually know how many there is going to be. And then also, of course, like the other Lightning Lane passes, guests staying at the resorts can purchase the pass up to 7 days in advance of their stay, except for that launch date on October 30th, which will have passed at this point. The prices as of right now for the Lightning Lane Premier Pass per person per day at Disney's Animal Kingdom, it is currently ranging from $129 to $199. Also, I want to say none of this is including tax, so just keep that in mind for Florida tax. $129 to $199 for Disney's Animal Kingdom. For Epcot is $169 to $249. At Disney's Hollywood Studios, it is $269 to $349. And at Magic Kingdom, you will be paying $329 to $449. Again, this is for one person per day. So, I mean, like at the top rate, I would say maybe like Christmas week, for instance, you could be paying almost $450 plus tax for one person in your party to be able to go on every single ride. You know, at one point for the day, well, only once. So only one time at any time.
And that's
of your
after
choosing.
paying the entrance to the park.
Yeah, that's not including your park ticket, of course. So I'm looking at the USA Today article on this, and they said for a comparison, at Universal Express, passes range from $90 to $290 per person per day. So again, it'll be interesting to see after this launches if Universal is going to change their prices at all. No one really knows. However, the irony of this is that the day that Disney announced the Premier Pass, the very next day, Universal announced when Epic Universe, the new park, is going to be opening on May 22nd, 2025. So everyone's saying, so look at that, Disney adding another Premier Pass.
And they have a hotel connected,
hundreds of dollars,
which is also supposedly going to be very mid-range, not high-range hotel.
But, well, it's just the fact that they're opening up a third park. I mean, like, if you compare it in that way, Disney still has more parks than Universal has parks in Florida, of course.
Yes.
So, you know,
but
it's hard to
Universal's
compare
going to start pulling in people.
But I would also, in my opinion, Universal does not have the same quality as Disney overall. So it's just the way it is. But it is kind of funny that Universal is like, well, they're announcing that.
Well, they are in competition with each other.
Let's announce our new park that's opening.
As everybody's mad at Disney.
Yeah, that Disney has not had a new park that opened since the 90s.
Right.
Actually, Animal Kingdom was the last one to open in 1998. And, you know, that was over, almost 30 years ago at this point. So, but anyway, though, so the Premier Pass is now, and at Disneyland, the Premier Pass is launching even sooner on October 23rd. So Disneyland will be launching first. Disneyland, you will be able to use the Premier Pass in both parks, in Disneyland and Disney California Adventure Park. It's only in Disney World, is only one park. And that is also the same too in Universal as well, that the Express Passes is for both parks, because they only currently have 2 parks as of recording this. They will soon to have 3 parks, of course. So yeah, so I wonder what that park hopping pass will look like in Disney World, or how it will be, or maybe just like, I imagine the logistics of that is probably just complicated. So Because if you think about it, if it's like a park hopping pass, does that mean what if you decide to park hop to all 4 parks in one day and go on every single ride?
Right, and all
what
4
would that
parks?
cost, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, but then at the same time, they could say maybe it's only 2 parks you can go on and then go on every single ride once. I don't know. So
who knows?
I imagine the reason why they don't have the park hopping is just the logistics of it and what that will
Right.
cost for someone to pay, you know, how much money they're going to pay for that. What, like $2,000 to go on all 4 parks
Also, in the
one day,
beginning,
every
they won't
ride?
be able to track who's staying where in what park and where they're going. So
Well,
maybe
because
that
they have no
makes a
data on it
difference.
right now, so they don't know who's going to be, which resorts are going to be buying, or
Right. How many
anything
are
like
going to be
that. So we'll
sold, how many
see.
rides they're going to go on, what it's going to impact for the rides, because now you're adding people onto the lightning lane
Yeah.
that can just walk on anytime they want. And then you've got the regular lightning lane, you know, the day pass or the whatever lightning lane people.
The multi-pass.
Well, on the news, they kind of sold it as, I saw it on the news the other morning, they were talking about it, and they sold it as a skip the line pass. And I'm like, think so. They really need people to know that they're not just going to walk up to the ride
Yeah,
and
it's
get
not
right
skipping
on.
the line. You're going into the lightning lane
Yes.
line.
So you've got to
and
deal
lightning
with
lane
all the other
still-
people that are on the lightning
Yeah, lightning
lane.
lane can still have sometimes a 15
And Lightning
minute
Lane,
wait.
even though they've cut down the DAS pass, Lightning Lane also includes the DAS people.
Yes.
So now you've got all these
Well,
3
that's what I'm saying. You're not
things.
skipping the line. You're
No.
going on the lightning lane line.
Yes.
So and they do call it lightning lane premier pass.
Yes, but the news people are saying you skip the lines, and I'm like,
Yeah,
no,
because
they
they're
got
not
that wrong.
they're not as familiar with Disney
Right.
as the Disney
They got that
community
wrong.
is.
Somebody didn't inform them correctly.
I would definitely suggest looking into you know, these things rather
What
than
it's
just
gonna
trusting
be,
any
right.
source, especially like a Disney journalist type source because they'll have like the real news.
To pay
So, like,
that
Walt
kind of
Disney
money, you
World-
really have to do your research and find out if it's worth it.
Yeah, like Walt Disney World News Today or you
Right.
know a Disney food blog. Some of like the big ones are all going to have like
Right.
the more accurate information as well.
information.
But I will say for people who don't go to Disney or aren't familiar with Disney, Lightning Lane is still going to be confusing to most people.
Yes, it is
because they just don't know
confusing
what
to
it
me,
is.
and I go to Disney all the time because Amanda takes care of it.
Yeah. So again, this is just a third pass to what they already have. So again, they have Lightning Lane Multi Pass, Lightning Lane Single Pass, and now Lightning Lane Premier Pass.
Pass.
So I'm more curious to see how many they're going to sell per day because I don't think we'll be able to tell how many they
No,
sell per day.
we won't know.
But it'll be interesting to just see from Disney's eyes how many they are going to sell, and if
Right.
they
If it
see
sticks
it's-
around.
if they see it's very popular, if you know, or maybe I think the thing will be too like how easy it is for people at the deluxe resorts trying to get one. You know, so it's only the deluxe resorts. It's not yet everyone staying at Disney property. You have
Right.
to be staying at one of the deluxe resorts. So I'll be curious to see if people like who are staying at deluxe resorts if they try to get a pass and then they can't because it's already sold out. It's like, well, maybe
Yeah,
that
we'll hear
shows
all that after they release them.
for sure, both in Disneyland and in Disney World. So very interesting to see. So I guess we will see as I mean, like by the time this podcast episode comes out, it's already launched. So
We'll already know.
but for
some of that
us, it's all
information.
still very new, so it's very interesting. So hopefully, it's all going well. I guess we'll find out, or maybe we'll hear nothing about it because so few people get it.
Get it,
There's
and
no
it
one
won't
to
make a
really
difference.
that there's no one really to report
Let's
on
put it this way:
So-
I'm not getting it.
But for now, we can transition to some Disney birthdays. First up on November 11th is Felix Madrigal's birthday, so happy birthday to Felix. And then on November 14th is Louisa's Madrigal's birthday, so happy birthday also to Louisa. Of course, too, on November 11th is also Veterans Day, so happy Veterans Day to all of our veterans. And then we have some personal birthdays as well. On November 12th, it is my friend John's birthday. John is one of Ted's friends, so happy birthday to John. On November 13th, it is my best friend Shannon's birthday, so happy birthday to Shannon. And November 17th, it is my Uncle Michael's birthday, so happy birthday also
Michael.
to Uncle Michael. And I also thought I would give a shout out that this week, the reason why we are pre-recording so heavily is that this week I am going to Virginia to run my 6th marathon in Richmond, Virginia. So yeah, so on November 16th, I will be running the Richmond, Virginia Marathon. If you were down there, feel free to DM me on Instagram, you know, come say hi or something like that. I'm sure no one will.
You never know.
But yeah, but I'll be running my 6th marathon at the Richmond, Virginia Marathon. Very excited to be running that marathon. So I've been training hard for it. So I'm hoping to PR. I guess we will see. By the time we record another live podcast, it won't be until like the end of November because we're pre-recording a lot because a lot is happening in November.
Right.
But yep, this is my marathon week. And then that transitions us to our final segment of the podcast, our Disney memory. So you have a Disney memory?
Our Disney memory was going to the Grand Floridian with like our friends Joe and Jane and just
Yeah.
hanging out and having hamburgers. And like I said, going out and sitting out at the table outside at night. I think you went back to the fireworks and we went to sit outside with Joe and Jane. Because that's another thing. When you eat at the Grand Floridian for dinner, you can just go right back into Magic Kingdom for the fireworks. I mean, I think you went back to the fireworks and we just went outside to hang with them and just sit and relax. And it's a nice night. I just remember that was a nice night to get to visit with our friends who live in Florida. We don't get to see them that often, to visit with them and just hang out. And the food was good and the atmosphere was good and it was very relaxing.
Yeah, no, I remember that night too because it was very fun. I think that was one of the first times we had dinner too at the Grand Floridian Cafe. 'Cause
Yes.
we normally do go for breakfast, but the dinner was just as good. So it was
They gave us a
very
nice big
exciting.
round table
Yeah,
we were
no,
there with
so
Joe and
nice.
Jane and their daughter,
That's
Taylor.
when I think I had that like pink London lemonade or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
So
We
I
had
was like, I guess I'll
drinks.
just try
It was really nice.
'Cause I'm not normally a lemonade person, really. I normally just drink water for the most part. I'm not very big into like mocktails or anything, but sometimes I'll try one. It's just fruit juice.
Right.
It's just like it's just a little fancy fruit juice, type of thing. But it was very good.
Yeah, that
It
was my
kinda
memory.
fun.
What's yours?
So I mean, like I do remember that as well. I feel like I don't have any like specific memories of the Grand Floridian Cafe. I do remember all the times we've gone there, and I have gotten the avocado toast.
Yeah,
Because it
it's her
is my
favorite. She knows exactly what she's
breakfast.
getting.
Yeah, so I have a lot of memories of standing there, like getting there, like trying to get photos and videos and everything. One of my favorites is that they have a lot of mirrors on one side of the wall, depending upon where you sit. So sometimes when I sit there, I'm like, if I sit up straight, I can see the top of my mini ears in the mirror, like across the wall.
I hate restaurants like that. That's why I try not to sit face in the mirror. I don't want to watch myself all the time.
Yeah, the mirrors are high enough where you can't really see yourself unless you're really tall. You could, like my dad maybe could see himself a little bit. But yeah, I could just see the tops of my mini ears if I sat up really tall and just be like, oh yeah, there I am. And then when you stand up, you can see
I think
yourself,
they
of
do
course,
that,
in
I
the
think,
mirror.
purposely because it's all windows on the other side.
Yeah.
And it's a long, narrow restaurant.
Yeah, so
it's not
it
a big
widens up
square
bit.
restaurant.
And then also when you're sitting with your back to the window, you can still technically see
all
outside the window.
you're not
because
looking at
there's
a wall.
mirror. So I do like that. The other thing I want to note too is that during, I believe, I forget which season it's during. I think it's during Flower and Garden. They sometimes have this chocolate sculpture of an owl in there.
Oh, in the middle.
But you don't always see it. Sometimes it's not there, so I guess it moves. I don't know where they put it.
That's right. They have that case in the middle of the restaurant.
So it is pretty cool though to see that. But I'm pretty sure when I saw it, it was for the Flower and Garden Festival. Perhaps it's like seasonal and they do a different.
Maybe they do
chocolate
different
sculpture.
things at different
I'm
festivals.
not sure, but I've only ever seen the chocolate owl before. I do have a photo of it. Maybe
I
that
forgot
will be the
about
photo
that
of
case
this
until
one.
you just mentioned it.
Yes, I thought I'd throw that in there as well, just at the very end here, because I do remember. I don't know if they do a different one every single season, but I remember asking our waitress about it, and she said, "Oh yes, it's for Flower and Garden Festival that they did this chocolate owl with like a little flower and fauna around it. And it looked really cool.
It was. It's pretty.
That was about it. Just really cool. I'm sure it still exists somewhere because they don't usually just like take away those things and just like discard them.
Right.
Like I never forget that the Kona Cafe used to have the chocolate stick.
I was just
statue.
thinking of that when you were talking because they
And
used
the
to have them
chocolate-
on that thing in the back.
He
Right?
was a large statue of Stitch, and they still have it. It's just now at Alani in Hawaii.
Oh, is that where they put it?
Yeah, so they
Okay.
moved it to Alani when Alani opened, and so that's why we no longer see it.
That's why
in
we know.
Kona
Yeah, they took
Cafe.
those, and there were other chocolate statues
They
too
had smaller
besides him.
ones,
There were
too.
smaller ones,
Yeah.
but he was the big one. But yes, I do miss those at the cafe because they did
Yeah.
look so good.
But I thought that was funny that they just moved that chocolate Stitch to
just
Alani.
I don't know.
In like at 2017, I think when Alani opened, they
Because nobody was ever going to eat it. It was probably about 50 pounds.
It's just
of
a
chocolate.
decoration,
Right.
yeah.
It was just
Well,
a
that's what I'm saying. They
decorative
wouldn't get-
chocolate statue.
Yeah, they wouldn't get rid of the owl
No.
decoration because
No.
it's maybe it's still there year round. I don't know honestly. I can't remember now, but I don't know. If you're there and you see it, let
Yeah,
me
when you
know.
were talking, I was just thinking of those statues and then you mentioned them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
would be curious. So let us know. But yeah, thanks everyone for listening to this week's episode of the podcast. Make sure you give us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or leave a comment down below if you're watching on YouTube. And again, we'll have that dedicated Instagram post on our Instagram, Almost Amanda X, linked in the description as well, so you can let us know. Have you seen the chocolate owl? Is there a different chocolate sculpture?
I'm going to have to look for it.
What do you like to order? What is your experience with the Premiere Pass? We'd love to know all your experiences. So let us know.